This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
A shutout, a one-hit shutout. Tigers bats completely silenced in this one. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Your post-game show starts right now. Brewers beat the Tigers 5-0, but we still have a lot to talk about. This is your Tigers post-game show, the Locked On Tigers postcast, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube as well. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Who am I? Just babbling about the Tigers over here. I'm Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma, one of your Locked On post-game hosts. As always, happy to be with you on the post-game show. Make sure you check out Locked On Tigers. That's also part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. Scott Bentley doing a tremendous job. He always has, always will, on Locked On Tigers and Locked On Red Wings. He and Brian Fisher. Don't forget about Locked On Lions, Locked On Wolverines, and what am I forgetting? Locked On Pistons. There it is. All part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day. Here's what's on tap for tonight's show. Not our night. Simple as that. We'll go over Jack Flaherty's outing. And I'm starting to get concerned with Riley Green. I know we discussed it the other day, but nothing has improved. In fact, you could make the case it's gotten worse. So we'll discuss our level of concern. I'll have my talking point, our player of the game, and our turning point. That's all coming up next. As always, the comments are open. You know me. I'm brought up through the old talk radio biz, so feel free to weigh in, just like the old ticket text or the call-in line, whatever it is. We'd say open phone lines, but in this case, open chat on the old YouTube. So let me know your thoughts in this one. We begin with the way the Milwaukee Brewers, which, by the way, Jackie Robinson Day, always important to start there, April 15th. So neat to see all the players wearing number 42, and not just for the honor that is on the field, but, of course, the history and the heritage that represents with Jackie Robinson paving the way for so many players in equality in baseball. Not to forget how tremendous of a player Jackie Robinson was as well. I will also add, though, it's great that every player wears number 42, but I think my eyes are going because I didn't realize how much I rely on a player's number to identify that player, because I must be blind, because I just there was a couple of times I'm looking in, who's that? Maybe I'm not alone in that. But anyways, not a lot to see in this game because the Tigers just simply didn't have it tonight, and it's going to happen over the course of a road trip. Not making excuses, surely, but you'd love to see more than just one hit aside from the Gleyber-Torres double. But a couple of hard balls, hard outs, loud outs, a couple that really tested the dimensions of the ballpark in Milwaukee. And what is it now? It's not Miller Park. Somebody help me out in the comments. The Brewers home ballpark. Maybe it is something like American Ballpark. It's not the Great American Ballpark, but we'll just struggle that. American Family Field. There it is. We'll just struggle for that for the entire introduction of today's episode, just trying to figure out what the new name of the old Miller Field is. So it's American Family Field, but the balls were not flying out tonight for the Tigers anyways. A couple of those hard hit balls that just died at the warning track. And I think Spencer Torkelson's final out of the game is an example of that, but no offense really going in this one. A couple other things that I wrote down as far as this game, where the way that not only the Brewers starter, Quinn Priester, but the rest of the bullpen had their way with the Tigers. Just the one hit, as I mentioned, it was a Gleyber-Torres double, and a lot of strikeouts, 10 strikeouts as a team. Just one of those nights where you look up and down this box score, and there's just nobody had it tonight, and it's as simple as that. So you take it on the chin, and baseball is a game of failure, and you get back at it for the rubber match of the finale tomorrow afternoon, a little day baseball, which we absolutely love. Who doesn't love day baseball? We'll be live with you post game for that. Now, Jack Flaherty, I said we'd discuss his outing as well. I wrote down he was good, not great. Only lasts the 4 2/3. You'd love to see obviously pitch further into the game. He gets his first loss of the season, gave up the 3 earned runs. He walked 2. He did strike out 4, gave up the 1 home run. The home run that he gave up to who was it? Hoskins. Yeah, Hoskins with his 6th home run of the year. So obviously a guy that, or I'm sorry, just his first home run of the year, 6th RBI. I was going to say that seems like a lot. First home run of the year, and on a night where the Tigers bats were so dead, it didn't really matter what happened. What happens after that? The Brewers take that lead. Also, how about that bizarre play that ended up scoring a run? It was runners, I believe it was runners at the corners trying to turn the double play. The ball that hit the runner in the back, and still Sweeney caught it at shortstop. Just one of the more odd. I mean, Andy Dirks said he had never seen anything like that before. So if you remember this game for nothing else, it was the bizarre throw from Torkelson to Sweeney off the runner's back, but still enough momentum to continue into Sweeney's glove. So other than that, I mean, again, we'll get into the comments. Let's do that right now. Demetrius McNeil's up first. When you see all zeros on the scoreboard and manage only 1 hit, you're having a rough night. What's wrong with Riley Green at this point? We're definitely going to get into that. 22 tantrums. Did the Tigers accidentally schedule nap time for the same time as first pitch? Woof, that was tough to watch. Indeed, you're going to have those snoozers. You're going to have those sleeper games in the course of 162. Jim and Denise, would have been nice to have Carp lead off the 9th. This would have also avoided Ibanez's lackluster third base play. Never take Carp out before the 8th. Yeah, that's an interesting part we could discuss, because I do think Spencer Torkelson's got to come up with that ball. Ibanez can make a better throw, absolutely. But that you can't have that on that play to third. But, Carpenter, I understand that it's always going to be a numbers game with AJ Hinch from when I was covering the Tigers for the Ticket and in the clubhouse, and you talk to AJ Hinch after every game. Nothing you could say or ask was going to change his mind. And that's really forced me to be more and not that there's ever a manager out there that is going to say, oh yeah, that's a good point from a writer. That's a good point from a fan. I should do that. They all just are going to do what they believe is in the best interest, and removing Carpenter is still in that wave of thinking in which that he just can't hit lefties. And so I don't necessarily agree with the knee-jerk reaction of always, oh my goodness, it's late in the game or it's in the middle of the inning game and Carpenter's going to face a lefty. Let's get him out of there. But I'm not the one filling out the lineup cards. So other things that I wrote down in this one, the Brewers really had their way with running on the Tigers. That could be something to keep an eye on as the season progresses, and depending on Jake Rogers' absence from this lineup with Dylan Dingler, who, make no mistake about it, I thought obviously called a great game yesterday in the shutout. But the Brewers certainly had their way on the base paths with the way that they were able to steal, I believe, 4 bases. 4 of them total. And certainly a couple of different throws from Dingler that left a lot to be desired. He was short hopping the ball in there. And I understand the one hop can be effective and can be fast, and it doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad throw, but a number of them ended up in the outfield and were unfieldable by the middle infielders on that. So certainly something to keep an eye on. And now, there we go. Right on cue. I see the comment here from Paul Forster, Dingler's throw to second. Yeah, not good. Certainly have to clean that up. But we've gone on long enough, and I need to play the sounder, the talking about segment. Here we go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think it's the level of concern with Riley Green. I mean, an all-star last year. I understand slow starts. I understand the difficult nature of sometimes of a lefty having to hit left on left and be an everyday player. But I think they're at 10-7. That's 17 games for Riley Green, and another really lackluster performance. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. He's just not seeing the ball. And Benetti talked about it a little bit. Andy Dirks talked about it. And you want to be somewhat gentle, and I don't want to use the term, I'll say star player and face of the organization, and was certainly the focal point of that come up and what we saw the Tigers do last year, and part of the focal point, I should say, but certainly a core member of this team that you expect big things for. So when the performance is lacking the way that it is, it's what we'll be talking about. And then the concern is there. And if I'm doing the concern meter, I've elevated it quite a bit from when we last discussed this over the weekend from the results in Minnesota. I'm more concerned after what I saw tonight, because he looks like he's in a funk, visibly in a funk, and the numbers certainly back that up. So you wonder when and how becomes the way that he busts out of it. Andy Dirks talked about pretending to be somebody else, and I know he was having fun with it, but something needs to be done with Riley Green. So that is what we're talking about after this loss to the Milwaukee Brewers 5-0. All right, don't go anywhere. We are just getting going on a live Locked On Tigers postcast, back in just a moment here on Locked On Sports Detroit. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Listen up, the NBA playoffs are almost here. We know that because the Detroit Pistons are going, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. So you can just bet your little heart's desire. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com, that's FanDuel.com, and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Don't miss out. FanDuel.com, claim your $250 in bonus bets today. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Prize Picks. America's most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports is on Prize Picks, and it's so easy. How easy is it, Jake? Oh, it's this easy, my friends. All you do is you pick more or less on a player's projected stat line, and voila, you watch the winnings roll on in. Basketball and hockey playoffs, well, they're here. They're about to be heating up, and there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for your chance to win up to $2,000 or up to 2,000 times your cash. Maybe $2,000 if that's 2,000 your cash. That would work. Here's what I love about Prize Picks. It's the ability to combine different sports. Listen, in my line of work, whether it be Locked On Tigers, whether it be 105.3 The Fan, I watch a lot of sports, so I love combining the different sports. I'll be watching some Dallas Stars hockey as well as Detroit Tigers baseball. Maybe I'll mix up a little Prize Picks lineup for that. So download the app today, use code LOCKEDONMLB, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today, use code LOCKEDONMLB, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, and we look ahead to tomorrow, day baseball, as I mentioned, and Frank BJ1 has said it perfectly. One game, they can still win the series, and that's what's important. That's right. Keep the series streak alive with 5 straight series wins if they can pull off the W tomorrow. That would be exciting. We'll have that pitching matchup for you. But first, let's do our Turning Point segment.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
When the Brewers scored 2 runs in the bottom of the second, I just mathematically, that's your turning point right there, because the Tigers weren't about to score any runs today. So the home run, we'll go with that. The home run from Hoskins, his first of the season, gives the Brewers the lead, and they never looked back. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Gleyber Torres. I mean, wow, made an incredible play in the field at second, had the only hit. So anytime the Tigers, I mean, when you're the guy that avoids your team being in the record books for the wrong reason, you deserve a nod. So double for Gleyber Torres, made a nice play in the field as well. He's our player of the game. All right. Tomorrow's pitching matchup for the Tigers and the Brewers, a day game, as I mentioned, a game at Great American Field, as we learned today, will be first pitch at 2:00 Eastern time, because it's a little bit, Central time, 1:10. No, I apologize. So it's 1:10 tomorrow Eastern time, noon 10. Is that how you say it? Yeah, we're cruising right now. Everybody doing well. I forgot how to talk, but you got Cater Montero making the start for the Tigers, his first start of the season. Build in some of that rest. If you follow some of the Tigers beat writers, they were talking about it on X today, that just an opportunity here to build in some rest for some of those other guys and give Cater Montero the baseball tomorrow to go for that series win. Jose Quintana goes for the Brewers. First pitch, 1:10 Eastern. Hopefully the bats wake up a little bit, because Tigers have a series streak on the line. Would love to see them get the dub to continue that to 5 consecutive series wins. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And hey, even though the Tigers got 1 hit, we try to keep it real here. We try to keep it entertaining. And that's why we'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, tell a friend, listen to Locked On Tigers. Just spend the rest of your life. Not actually. I get carried away sometimes. So we're not doing anything later tonight. We've got Locked On MLB Game Night that I'll be hosting with John Frisch of Locked On Angels. Always a good time with him if you want to check that out over on Locked On MLB. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in, and we've got all kinds of fun things ahead with the Pistons postseason beginning, more Tigers baseball, and April in the D continues along. We're about halfway through April in the D. Appreciate everybody. You guys all rock, and a little shout out from 22 Tantrums. Great job hosting Locked On MLB last night. God, you guys are too kind to me. I appreciate it. So kind of you. If only we could get those West Coast games to speed up a little bit, so I don't have to stay up till 1:30 in the morning or whatever it was. No, it comes with the territory. But have a wonderful rest of your evening. Catch me over on Locked On MLB or tomorrow afternoon for the rubber match of a 3-game series, Tigers and Brewers. Cater Montero on the bump. Looking forward to it. Have a wonderful rest of your night.